Okay, it is Thursday, which is my typical rest day, and I'm gonna work out today because I'm gonna say that Tuesday I didn't really do a workout. I did, a couple snatches, did it in the video the other day. Didn't really give myself a good effort because it was the end of the day and I was pretty tired. So today I'm gonna do that same workout, minus the snatches. I'm not gonna do snatches. I'm just gonna warm up with some power cleans today, which is the actual programming, and then I'm going to follow that up with the workout, which is the Mayhem Compete workout from Tuesday, which is bar facing burpees, toes to bar, and then hang squat cleans, which I'm going to use the Pongo bar for, and then like chest to bar, then back to toes to bar, and then the weight goes up. It's a pretty gnarly looking workout, and it's cool. It looks fun, but we'll see how that goes with the Pongo bar. I'm gonna actually give myself a good warm up so that I can hit those weights that are prescribed. Likely, I'm gonna end up scaling the weight back anyways, just because of the nature of the shorty bar. I want to be able to get through it in a good amount of time, or the time frames that are prescribed. Doing so, I'll probably have to take a little bit of weight off, which, like I said before in my other video, like if you have a shorty bar, weight feels heavier no matter what you do. So now I'm going to start with my power cleans and some front squats. That's going to be hopefully enough to warm me up for the workout. So today I'm wearing the NOBULL reflective Cupsole trainer. So these are like the canvas trainer 2.0s, or what I call the 2.0s, because they don't sell the original canvas trainers anymore, which I actually really like the original ones. And I really like the 2.0 canvas trainers too. And I also really like these ones. I like that they feel a little bit more flexible than the canvas trainer, and also lighter, which is my main gripe with the canvas trainer. They were just heavy. Funny thing about NOBULL is that everybody gets so toxic whenever I post anything about NOBULL. And it's always the same, oh, it's the same shoe, blah, 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 blah. And I want to say that I was one of the people that spearheaded the whole come out with a new shoe movement for NOBULL. This is back in 2018, 17, and it'd been 2 years or 3 years since they had come out with the first revision to the original trainer. And I was like, well, everybody changes their shoe every year, and they were just doing the original trainer. And all they would do was take or all it seemed like they were doing they were taking old, variants of the shoe, and then they would just mix it with another upper or another lower, and it was the same shit all over and over and over again. And I'd be very vocal about saying that they need to make a new shoe. They should make a new shoe. Everybody else comes out with a new shoe, or they come out with a revision, or they make their shoe better, whereas NOBULL is the same thing. They just keep on making the trainer. And then they start coming out with new shoes. So they start coming out with the runner, the ripstop runner, the mesh runner, which are all pretty different. I mean, the knit and the ripstop are very similar. I mean, they use the same midsole and outsole, but the mesh runner is completely different. And then since then, they've also come out with the Runner Plus, the canvas trainer, which are completely different shoes. And then they came out with other variants to the trainer, which they have the suede ones, the leather ones, they have the high tops, they have the mid tops. So in all honesty, after they started doing all of that, I just shut up. That was enough to satisfy me. They start coming out with new stuff. It wasn't the same thing anymore. And they're all not the same. The normal trainer is different than the canvas trainer. I would say that the leather trainer and the suede trainer, those are pretty much the same thing as the normal trainer, but at least you have a different material to go behind it. And then you also have the core trainer and the trainer plus, which are completely different shoes than the normal trainer as well. So at this point, if you're still saying that NOBULL just makes the same shoes, you would be the fool, because they're not. They're all different. And I would be a very unlikely person to stick up for NOBULL, but I don't hate NOBULL. I never hated NOBULL. The only thing that I disliked about NOBULL is that they just didn't come out with new models. And they have, so I shut up. But I mean, truth be told, that's just how it is nowadays. Like, you can't please anybody nowadays when it comes to training shoes. Even if they do come out with a new shoe, Reebok comes out with a new shoe, Nike comes out with a new shoe, somebody is gonna cry and say, bring out the old shoe. Bring out Nano 2s again, for example. And then they bring out Nano 2s again, and what do people do? They start crying about how much it fucking costs. Oh, I can't pay $130 for a shoe that came out 10 years ago. But that's the shit that you were asking for. You were asking for them to bring it out. And now they gave it to you, and now you're gonna cry about something else. And it's not even just that. It's like, people can't be happy or get excited about new shoes. It's like every time a new Nano comes out, oh, the last Nano came out only like less than a year ago. And then there'll be the same people that complain about, oh, NOBULL hasn't changed their shoes in 3 years, blah, 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 blah. So you can't please anybody nowadays. And it's sad too, because like the Nano 13 is actually a good shoe, and it gets all this hate because of really the Nano 12 and 11, which is completely unjust, because the Nano 13 is a completely different shoe than the 11 and the 12. But I think the 11 and 12 put such a bad taste in people's mouth that people are like, oh, the Nano 13 is gonna be the same thing. They immediately see the drop and they're like, the drop is the same, it's gotta be the same shoe, right? Of course, right? Like, that's the only thing that makes a shoe to some people. Like, come on, man. Like, we're way past the point where having a low drop is the marker of a training shoe. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. It's clearly been proven that you can have a higher drop and people will still like it. You're still gonna be able to train in it. They still make these shoes with training and lifting in mind. Okay, first working set. Oh, that was quick. I'll take a little second between that. Ooh, my left doesn't want to get up. I could make one tweak to the way that these shoes feel, is that I would decrease the toe spring angle on them, because I think the toe spring on the canvas trainers in general is just a little too floaty. But otherwise, I think these are probably some of my favorite NOBULL shoes. They've got a really flat contact outsole. They're like skate shoes. They kind of feel like Vans in that regard, where like if you kind of pivot to the side, you're just kind of catching the lip of the shoe on the ground. If they were to decrease the toe spring angle on these, they would be a really good powerlifting shoe. Minus, I probably have to take a little of that cushion away from it, but otherwise, they have a good kind of like blueprint of a power shoe with these. Just gotta bend the knees a little bit more. My willingness to get under the bar is not very, very much today. Okay, last clean set. Make them all good, bend my knees. Okay, that was definitely the best set. I was getting under that bar, elbows were getting high, not getting stuck. Really focus on just pushing through the ground, full foot contact, not pulling with my arms, trying to actually just keep them as straight as possible. So now some front squats. 240, pretty lightweight. Now the star of the show today, the Pongo bar. See how this feels. Feels a lot better today than it did the other day. Since the bar only weighs 35 pounds, I'm gonna load it like I would, like normal. So I'm going 125, 145, 175, and then 215. Still pretty heavy for a short bar at least. And then we're also gonna try out the Sky Hill comp grips that they just sent me. They don't match as well as my Wadapalooza ones, but I've been excited to try these out. They look like they have a kind of different wristband area. Let's actually grab the other ones. There you go. Comps, and then the normal ones. So see how it's a little bit more rounded at the top there? It's just a little bit more cushioning there. Just a little bit. And then the design is a circle instead of a diamond stitch. You can't see because I have the tag there. That's a diamond stitch on the normal ones. And then the top of these ones is also rounded versus angular on the normal ones. And then they have, of course, this button here so that when you want to get it out of the way, you just flip it down. So I'm excited to use these ones. And these chest bars at the end, man, they're gonna crush me. I wish it was 25 toes a bar. That's something I need to work on. When I first started CrossFit, my gymnastics were like, that's all I cared about. And now like gymnastics, I don't give a shit about. Oh. And these things stick like crazy, man. Okay, let's get it rolling. This bar is brutal. Bounce cleaning is very, very, very difficult. Basically get no bounce out of that bounce clean, and it just fucking hurts. Dang, plates on this motherfucker is hard. Fuck, 24 facing burpees. God damn it. Knee sleeves are not helping me out here. Really hurting me for these burpees. These burpees carry the fucking death of me. I mean, this feels like fucking, like 255. After all that, with this bar. Oh, fuck, okay. That was hard. That whole fucking workout was burpees. I just felt like I was doing burpees the whole fucking time. From the 20 to the 25, like no break in burpees. The hang squat clean was fucking heavy. At 225, 215, or 215 with this bar. Man, it felt not like 225. 225 feels way easier than that. I felt like 245 on the bar. Man, if you want to make things harder on yourself, definitely pick one of these bars up. I wouldn't recommend this as being your only bar. This is definitely something that fits into the specialty category. If you're a CrossFit like competition athlete, like you kind of have to train with one of these bars because they use them at the competitions. They use them at like pretty much from semifinals on. They use short bars and something. Definitely want to prepare yourself if that's you. This bar is not cheap though. That's kind of the shitty thing about it is that it costs $303. That's not cheap. That's like not really something that I think everybody's gonna spring to buy because it's such a niche product. But I mean, it is really a supplemental training tool when you think about it. I mean, that only really applies to like games athletes or games hopefuls. I mean, if you were a normal garage gym goer and you just needed something just short because you just didn't have a lot of space or you're trying to fit a bunch of people into an area, then I'd say that, you know, maybe that's warranted as well. But the normal garage gym person doesn't really need a shorty bar. But I mean, it never hurts to have one around. At the very least, this thing spins really well and the knurling is really grippy. I didn't use any chalk in the first 2 rounds and I was fine. I probably didn't even need it the whole time, to be honest with you. The surface is a little slippery, so I mean, if you're a really bad sweater, then you might need chalk, but otherwise I thought the actual knurling itself was grippy enough. Now, the things that I don't like about it, I still don't like where the markings are. I think that needs to be in line with one of the standards. Probably, if anything, should be the weightlifting standard. And then the knurling is too far in. Like it starts way too close. So there's some where, yeah, it was digging into my shoulder a little bit, but mainly it was messing my thighs up. Like I got a pretty good scratch. I don't know if you can see it right there, but I got a pretty good rub mark from hang cleaning. I went from a bands clean to having to actually like almost like hinge it, like not the clean that you want to do, but it's the clean that kind of gets you by. Like I think, you know, as CrossFitters, you kind of have to use a mix of the two. You have to do the bounce clean sometimes. Sometimes you got to do the hang and hinge kind of clean. But technically, I'd say the bounce clean is more of a correct clean than the hinge clean, because most times when you hinge like that, you're not extending fully. You're really just hinging it, and then you're like swinging it back to yourself like a kettlebell swing, which is not really what you want to do to reinforce technique. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I gotta go get my kid now. It's spent a good amount of time here. It's the biggest and longest training session that I've done in a long time, so I'm happy about that. The knee sleeves. The knee sleeves were definitely hindering me for the burpees. I had to roll them down because they were just choking my legs out, and it felt like my legs were dead trying to jump over the barbell. But otherwise, they provide really good compression, and for the most part, they're breathable and they're comfortable. And yeah, they're just a little thick for burpees. I probably wouldn't do them for like rowing and, you know, anything that required a lot of bounding, a lot of blood pumping to your legs. But otherwise, if it just came to lifting, I think they're great. And then the grips, these grips, super grippy, just like the other ones. But what I had noticed is that I was just better off flipping them around. It took less time to flip them around, plus they were out of the way more. I think if you were doing double unders, you would want to button them down and then flip them around. But otherwise, if you're just doing like a workout like this, burpees and barbell stuff, you're better off just flipping them around. And in which case, you're probably just better off just getting the legacy grips. But I mean, the performance between either of them is pretty much the same thing. They're really good grips. But that about wraps it up for today. If you guys have any questions about the Pongo bar from Gorila Fitness, the Skyhill grips or Skyhill knee sleeves, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And as always, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.